Hello everyone, welcome to this session about the exchange information requirements from a practical perspective. I'll start by giving a brief about myself. I am Mostafa Elashmawy. I'm the head of BIM and GIS at WSP Middle East, and I have a master's in global BIM management. I'm an EMA ambassador. I'm certified from several organizations related to information management like BRE and ICS. Also, I'm an Autodesk Expert Elite, certified professional, and a certified instructor. So, as per ISO 19650, the appointing party is this letter or this small circle at the middle, A. So, this is our client, this is our employer, and then this large circle is the project space or the project teams. So, the every smaller circle, these dark gray circles, represent a delivery team. And for the client, when they bring a delivery team, which is a consultant or a contractor, this is where they appoint a party. And this relation here is the appointment. And as an appointing party, they appoint the lead appointed party. And then this lead appointed party can appoint other organizations below it, like sub-consultants or subcontractors that will have also other deliverables. But the client responsibility here will be to define the information requirements for this whole delivery team. Then the lead appointed party will be responsible for all the teams below it. To understand the hierarchy of information requirement, I brought this image that you can see here in the screen from ISO 19650 Part 1, and there are basically four types of information requirements as per ISO 19650. Firstly comes the organizational information requirements. This is the first thing to be established, and usually as understood from the naming, it's done per the organization. This organization can be like a developer, like the owner of the project or of groups of projects, or the end client, for sometimes the government can be this organization, whoever the end client in this project. And then these organizational information requirements support the initiation of two other types of information requirements. The asset information requirement, which is more related to the asset requirements, things like what kind of information needed to run and operate this asset in the future. While the other type of information requirements that's developed based on the OIR, it's the project information requirements, and this is more concerned about the delivery part of the project, from passing by design and construction. Um, so at handover stage, we expect the appointed parties to comply with both this EIR and this project information requirements. But this is usually communicated to the appointed party or the consultant or contractor through another document, which is the exchange information requirements. So this exchange information requirements shall be the main document that the contractor or consultant or any appointed party will use to deliver the information. So the client will have an organizational information requirement, and then from it they will develop a project information requirement, which is generic for the whole life of the project, and then they may customize it or filter it based on the specific appointment, and then gives this document to the appointed party as an exchange information requirements. On the other hand, they also develop an asset information requirement and give it to the appointed party to deliver their asset information model. So the two main deliverables that are expected to be delivered are the project information model and the asset information model. The project information model, to simplify it, is the model that's done through the delivery phase. Okay, so it represents the design model, the construction model, and then it's converted or transformed into an asset information model or contributes to an asset information model that's submitted at handover stage. And when we start moving from this project information model into the asset information model, we should look into the asset information requirements and ensure that this final asset information model complies with the asset information requirements. When we talk about the content of exchange information requirements, there are three important aspects that need to be focused on. Purposes in the exchange information requirements should be viewed as a system of inputs, processes, outputs. This is essential for rationalizing project goals and ensuring efficient information exchange through the project lifecycle. So the purposes should be seen as, um, whenever applicable, feeding each other. So a specific purpose of information could generate an output, and this output can act as an input for a specific different purpose. Each purpose requires specific inputs and process that utilize relevant information to produce the necessary outputs, which is then become an input for subsequent process. This create an interconnected chain of information exchanges, and the rationalization of purposes is a foundational step in defining EIR. So it also help both the appointing party and the lead appointed party to have distinct purposes, but also they have them defined well, or well defined in the EIR. Examples of rationalized purposes, for example, for the appointing party. So the appointing party may have a purpose for this information. This purpose can be for asset registration, for example, or planned maintenance, or for cost forecasting. However, the lead appointed party may have different purposes for information, like geometry coordination, construction planning, construction costing, energy analysis. So while these are different from these, some of these purposes for the lead appointed party may act as an input for another purpose for the appointing party. Another important aspect for the content of the EIR is a structuring of information. And the EIR must specify the structure of information to facilitate open and shareable data across the asset's entire life cycle, ensuring that the data exported from primary authoring processes is suitable for input into a secondary processes. So in this example that you see, the primary purpose of information was to create have geometrical or data models for authoring of information, for example, for generating the design drawings, while a secondary purpose was analysis and testing and simulation of information. So this purpose required the information to be structured in a specific way that can feed the other secondary purpose. So if we know the purpose of information, we will know the best structure for this information. So for example, if you need this information for planning, you might need specific formats for the information that fits inside the software that you will use for this planning. So it's important to structure, to add the required structure of information for every purpose. Whatever BIM use you will require in your project, you need to define the how will the information be delivered, what information to be delivered, what's the formats for the information to be delivered, and so on. And this leads from the structure of information to the definition of information. It's a bit linked, but as you can see here, detailed information requirements should be categorized into structured and unstructured data, focusing on the specific content, form, and format necessary for each project purpose. And when it comes to the definition of information, which is an essential part of the exchange information requirement, we should immediately think about the level of information need. So while the exchange information requirements for sure will define the purpose, as we mentioned earlier, and also it will be defined before going to the information need. For sure, we will know when will the information be delivered and who will deliver it and what exactly will be delivered. It's important to define how this will be delivered. So when it comes to the definition of information, we should think about the level of information need, which will define how this information will be delivered. And for that, usually we define the geometrical information, what's the dimensionality, what's the details, location, appearance, parametric behavior, what alphanumerical information need to be added, like the ID of the elements, like any additional information content, and also what set of documents need to be delivered to consider this deliverable done. So back to the practical approach. So we spoke about the standards, how this can be translated into something that you that can be added into the EIR. So when you look into an EIR, or when you ask the client for the EIR or the PIR, what is actually expected from the client. So as per ISO 19650, the client have two important points in the project lifecycle where they should provide the information requirements. So at the assessment and need stage, the appointing party should establish this set of documents, which is the project information requirements and the project information standards. And the project information standards are a bit different from the information requirements. So to understand the main difference is, for example, um, for the information standards, the client need to define how the exchange of information will happen. What standardized element for exchanging information have been established for the project. For example, um, is there a specific naming convention? So the naming convention on its own is an information standard. So this is something provided by the client. Information protocol to define the responsibilities and the ownership of information. Also, they should provide the production methods and procedures. So they should define, for example, how existing information will be captured. Okay, so how also the review or the approval of information should be done. Another important thing that should be delivered by the client together with project requirements, the templates. Also, they should set up a common data environment. Selecting the platform or the group of platforms and defining the process for the common data environment. The client also should specify the delivery milestones. These are the essential documents or information requirements that should be, or these are the set of documents, the minimum set of documents. So these are the minimum set of documents that's expected from a client on the project level. But then when it comes to the appointment, there are additional set of documents that are also required. So in any contract, we should expect to see the exchange information requirements. Together with it, we should see level of information need. We should see deliverables, acceptance criteria. So it's not enough to define the deliverables. You need to mention exactly how you will consider these deliverables as approved or not. The client should also define the deliverables dates, when they need this information. Also the templates and shared resources, and a tender evaluation criteria, how they will select the best bidder. To summarize all what we mentioned, or to get our attention into some of the most important points that need to be addressed inside an exchange information requirement documents, or even for the best delivery of information, because the name of the document may vary from a country to another or from a project to another, but these specific questions need to be answered by the client before appointing any party. This will help them into receiving a successful deliverable in the future. What are the goals or objectives for using BIM or for delivering this information? What's the quality management requirements? So how we will manage the quality of the deliverables? What's the interface management requirements? How the interface between different parties will be managed? The ownership of information. Are there any security requirements in the project? What are the roles and responsibilities for every stakeholder? So for example, if you have a management organization, or if you have an additional cost consultant, what's the responsibility of each party? Who will be modeling, who will be reviewing, and so on. In addition to this, what are the IT requirements? This covers both software and hardware and any other IT requirements. The common data environment, process, and platform. What will be used in this project? Are there templates for the project? Will we develop templates from start, or will we appoint a specific party, for example, to develop these templates? What are the deliverables required to fit all the purposes or all the goals and objectives of the project? And who will deliver it, when it will be delivered, how it will be approved, and all the questions related to the deliverables. What are the handover requirements? So if these deliverables will be handed over to another consultant or to an operator, what will be the process of this handover? How you will verify the information, and how you will ensure that the new party receives the information and can proceed with it. So that's it for this presentation. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, you can easily find me on LinkedIn, Mostafa Elashmawy. I'll be happy to respond to any questions that you may have. And thank you.